What's going to happen to this apple if we stare at it for too long? So let's say you put it on a table and you keep looking at it for a few weeks, maybe for a few months. Well, eventually it's going to rot. Now, the same thing will happen with your confidence if you stare at your fears for too long without taking any action. So how does it relate to presenting? Well, there are many people who say that they want to master presentation, but they are simply not good at it. They don't have that, I don't know, presentation gene, right? They are simply not good at it. They are not talented. And what happens? Well, they keep procrastinating. They keep procrastinating because they are simply afraid. They don't want to take that small step. And then at one point, they have no choice. They have to give a presentation. They have to film a video, and they start panicking. And of course, they keep procrastinating till the last minute. And then the panic gets so big that it almost paralyzes them from taking any action. Now, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. The good news is that it's never too late to change. So even if you've been procrastinating like this before, you can change it right now. Like literally right now, you can make a change, and it's totally up to you. There is no higher power controlling you. It's literally up to you and what you are willing to do to build a better life for yourself. So I believe that everything comes from practice and taking that first small step. The moment you take that first small step to face your fear, you realize that it's not as big as you thought it would be. So I'm not sure if you ever skydived or bungee jumped, but it's a pretty scary experience. So I'll never forget the first time I jumped from a plane. I was flying above Dubai, I think 12 or 13,000 feet, and at one point the doors of the plane opened, and I was supposed to throw myself out of that plane. Now obviously it was a very scary concept. I had many scenarios going through my mind. I was saying to myself, what the hell are you doing? You want to die? You are quite young. You have so much life in front of you. Why would you jump from a plane? But at one point I realized that if I don't jump right now, I will probably never do it. So simply switched off my thinking and I pushed myself out of the plane. And the interesting thing was that when I was dropping down 200 kilometers per hour, there was no more anxiety, there was no more self-doubt, there was no more fear. The fear was gone. It basically transformed into excitement. Excitement of pushing your comfort zone, proving to yourself that you can face your fears, that they don't control you, but you control them. It was one of the best feelings of my life, and when I went down, when I landed, I felt so exhilarated. I literally felt like I won $100 million. I was walking around with a massive grin, and I felt like I can do anything in this life. I can accomplish pretty much anything. And the same thing will happen to you when you face your fears of public speaking, of presenting, because you realize that you are more powerful than you thought. Now, most people have a misconception that great public speakers and presenters are born. They have it in their DNA. But you see, the reality is that, as I said before, they are afraid, but not just that. Many of them started literally from the bottom. And it's quite interesting how it works. You see someone who is a great presenter, you assume that that person used to be like this for their entire life. But when you watch some of their older videos, you see that progress. So for example, many people think that I'm a decent speaker, right? But when you look at some of my first YouTube videos, you will probably laugh. Like right now I can talk, I don't need any teleprompter, I have a bunch of bullet points and I start talking, and that's it. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. I was stressed out, I didn't know what to do with my hands. I mean, what do you do with your hands? Do you keep them here? Do you keep them there? It was confusing. Then staring at the camera. It's strange, isn't it? You're not even looking at anybody, you're just staring at the camera. So it was difficult, but I practiced and practiced and practiced. And actually, go to my YouTube channel, go to YouTube, type in Jimmy Naraine, and see one of my first videos. If you want to have a good laugh, just go ahead, pause this video and do it, and you will see what I'm talking about. The transformation has been tremendous, and this will happen to you as well. And don't make a mistake of comparing yourself to other people. Don't simply look at some great presenter, maybe someone who gave a TED Talk, and don't say to yourself, wow, that person is so amazing, I'll never be like this. Compare your progress only to yourself. Film your first video. Keep practicing, keep pushing yourself. and then in the future, compare your own progress, and you will be surprised how powerful you can be. So obviously practice is extremely important, but it's not just about practicing blindly. It's about practicing in a smart way so you get the most results for your time invested. So in the next section, I will be talking to you about certain strategies you can use in order to take your practice to another level. So you essentially trigger that positive transformation and become a great presenter.